Ugram Virang Mahavishnu Jalantang Sarvato Mukham Nrishingham Bhishanam Bhadrang Mrittu Mrittu. So today Lord Nrisinghadev appeared. Actually this is the time, this is not the time like when it becomes evening or twilight, the day turns into night. That's the time Lord Nrisinghadev appeared. Lord Nrisinghadev appeared beforehand. And he had a long fight with Hiranyakashipu. And it's at this time that he killed Hiranyakashipu. Hiranyakashipu had received some benedictions from Lord Brahma that he won't be killed by any man, animal, demigod, demon, anyone. So he took that benediction. He won't be killed by any species of living entity. He won't be killed by any weapon. He won't be killed during the day or at night. He won't be killed in the sky or on land or in water. He won't be killed inside the room, outside the room. He won't be killed by anyone, dead or alive. And as a result of that, Hiranyakashipu became immortal, practically immortal. He wanted immortality from Brahma. And he performed very, very severe austerities. And the reason behind performing this austerity was to become so powerful that he could kill Hari. That's the problem with the demons. The demons don't want to recognize the Supreme Personality of Godhead. They try to assess everybody from their own perspective. They can't accept anyone superior to them. And they judge them according to their assessment that he would kill Hari. So that shows that the demons actually don't have spiritual knowledge. The spiritual knowledge gives us the understanding that not only the Supreme Personality of Godhead is immortal, but even the living entities are immortal. The souls are immortal. The soul cannot die. So what to speak of the Supreme Soul? The Supreme Personality of Godhead. How can anybody kill him? But the demons think they become so inimical to the Lord that they think that they would kill the Lord. And this is the problem with the demons. They develop some animosity with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And in spite of accepting his authority and supremacy, they want to destroy him. And so he thought that his brother was killed by Hari. So he felt that his brother was very powerful, almost as powerful, or maybe even more powerful than him. So in order to contest with Hari and kill him, he has to become very, very powerful. That means he has to become immortal. So he performed great austerity, such austerity that his whole body was eaten up by termites, ants, white ants. The whole body was eaten up, not only the skins and flesh and fat. His intestine was eaten up, his lungs was eaten up, his heart was eaten up, his brain was eaten up, everything was eaten up by the ants. His body, just a skeleton was standing there. And how was it standing? With his hands raised upwards and standing on one leg on the toe of the leg. On his left foot he was standing, left leg he was standing on the toes of just toe of his left foot. Such severe austerity. And as a result of that austerity, Brahma came to him and asked, so, Hiranyakashipu, what do you want? Why are you performing such austerity, such penance? He said, look, I want some benediction. Tell me what benediction you want. Please make me immortal. Brahma said, I can't make you immortal. Even I am not immortal. Even I have to die at a certain point. So how can I make you immortal? So Hiranyakashipu thought that by trickery he would become immortal. And he got this, one after another, he wanted this benediction from Nrsingadeva. I'm sorry, Brahma. And he practically became immortal. Who would kill him? No creature could kill him. He had the benediction. No weapon could kill him. He won't be killed during the day or night, and so forth. So eventually, the Lord appeared in a very unique form. Head of a lion, body of a man. Narasimha. Half man, half lion. Narasimha. Man or animal? Can you determine? No. No man, no animal can kill him, but he appeared in a form which is neither a man nor an animal. He would have been killed by any weapon. So he used his nails. He won't be killed by anything alive or dead. And the nails are, you can't figure out whether the nails are alive, living or dead. The nails are dead matter, dead part of the body, but still is living. It's neither dead nor alive. He won't be killed during the day or night. At the twilight, when it's either neither day nor night. I'm sorry, not twilight, at dusk. It's also twilight actually. And he won't be killed on the sky or land. The Lord placed him on his lap, which is neither the sky nor the land. He won't be killed inside the room or outside the room. The Lord sat on the doorstep, which is neither inside the room nor the outside the room. And Dalita Hiranyakashipu Tanu Bhringam. Tanu, the body of Hiranyakashipu was as strong, so strong, that even thunderbolt couldn't do anything to it. Indra hurled thunderbolt. It just even scratched a little bit on his skin and fell off. Such a powerful personality. But the Lord with his nail tore open his body like bhringam, like a wasp. A wasp body, so soft. Right? So to him, Hiranyakashipu's body was just like a wasp body. Keshavadhrita Narahari Rupa. Keshav, Krishna, assumed the form. Nara, Hari. Nara means man and Hari means a lion. Nara Hari Rupa. Jai Jagadisha Hari. All glories to Nrsingadeva. So, sometimes the question arises, like, why do we worship Nrsingadeva? None of the other incarnations of the Lord are worshipped. Bamandeva is not worshipped, Kurmadeva is not worshipped, regularly, generally. And we ISKCON devotees actually are worshippers of Krishna. We don't even worship Narayan, Lakshmi Narayan. We worship Krishna. But in every ISKCON temple, Nrsingadeva is worshipped. Why is that? Isn't that a mystery? The reason is that Lord Nrsingadeva is Bhakti Bigna Vinashan. He destroys the impediments from the path of bhakti. Bhakti Bigna. Bigna means impediments. Impediments in the course of bhakti. Vinashan, a destroyer. He destroys all the impediments. So we want to make progress in spiritual life. Therefore we take shelter of Nrsingadeva. Please remove all the impediments from the path of our devotional progress. And Nrsimhadev does take care. He is really Bhakta Vatsal, really the protector of his devotees. And we saw how wonderfully he protected Prahlad Maharaj. Prahlad Maharaj was he was tormented so much by his own father. His own father wanted to kill him. And that father was not an ordinary person. He was the king of the demons. And he was so powerful that he defeated all the demigods. Practically in this universe, everybody was defeated by him. All the demigods were the controllers of this universe, universal arrangements. They were defeated by him. So that is how powerful he was. And he wanted to kill his 5-year-old son. The reason is, he became a devotee of Hari. He asked his son, my son, what did you learn from his teacher? He was sent to his Gurukul, his Guru's ashram, and the Guru was supposed to teach him all kinds of material topics. But his response was, the most important thing that I learned is that Hari, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, should be worshipped. And the goal of life is to surrender unto Him. What? Hari, one should surrender himself to Hari. Couldn't tolerate that. He just threw him out of his lap. Called the teachers and asked, what's the matter? What are you teaching him? And they're trembling with fear, seeing Hiranyakashipu's anger. And they admitted that, no, we never taught him all that things. We are telling him all the mundane subjects, psychology, philosophy, not philosophy so much, economics, politics. So they suspected that the demigods in disguise probably coming and spoiling the child. And so, he made arrangement, what to speak of any living entity, even the birds couldn't fly over that place. So well protected. And after some time, his son was brought again back to him. So son, what did you learn? That Hari, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, should be worshipped, and the goal of life should be to surrender unto Him. From our perspective, it's such a simple thing, right? Such a simple goal of life. But Hiranyakashipu, the demon, couldn't tolerate that. He ordered his soldiers, kill him. Just as a spark of fire can destroy the whole palace, just as a poisonous tree can destroy the whole garden, similarly, just an unwanted child can destroy the entire family. Kill him. Kulangar. Angar means fire, and Kul means dynasty. A fire that's going to burn the whole dynasty, so finish him off. And so they immediately, they've been ordered by their Lord, his bodyguards, most powerful demoniac soldiers, unsheathed their weapons, and the weapons with which they could fight even the demigods, all those weapons appeared to be totally ineffective. They tried to attack him with their weapon. The weapons immediately broke into pieces before it could even touch his body. It's surprising. This son, this child, how he became so powerful. And his natural conclusion actually was, after all, he is my son. So, since I am so powerful, he inherited the gene. And he didn't realize that there is another consideration. When one becomes empowered by the Lord, No one can do anything to him. And one after another he made endeavors to destroy him, to kill him, thrown into the pit of the venomous snakes. And they are not ordinary snakes, they are actually celestial snakes. The snakes with 100 heads, 1,000 heads, like Taksha and all those. And nothing happened. They were incessantly beating him, biting him. Nothing happened. And they started to cry, our fangs are broken, our sacks are empty, we are totally exhausted, and nothing is happening to this child. O King of Demons, please have mercy upon us. Please don't mind our failure. So Hiranyakashipu then decided to burn him. A pyre was arranged like a mountain, and it was lit up and the child was thrown into that. But by the mercy of the Lord, the flames, the burning flames of the fire appeared to be like the soothing touch of the lotus petal to him. Okay, throw him from top of a mountain. From a huge mountain he was thrown. Nothing happened. Just before he landed, Hari caught him. So this is how Krishna protects. So who can hurt a devotee? And finally decided that, okay, bury him under the ocean. Throw him in the ocean and just throw all these mountain peaks and big, big boulders so that he'll be buried under the ocean. And that was arranged. He was thrown in the ocean and immediately, incessantly, they started to throw all these huge mountain peaks. But when everybody thought that now the mission has been accomplished, then the Prahlad popped up from the ocean. Hiranyakashipu was really surprised. Where did you get this power? That you are not affected by anything. He said, I got the power from wherever everyone gets his power. Where you got your power also. Who is that? Hari. Hari. Where is he? Everywhere. Is he in that pillar? I mean, he thought, how can anybody be in that pillar, you know? Prahlad's answer was, yes, he's in the pillar also. And he just hit the pillar with his bare hands, just with his fist. Shh! The pillar broke into pieces. And he heard a terrible sound. And a unique form emerged from that pillar. Half lion, half man. Head of a lion and body of a man. And just by seeing that, Hiranyakashipu just pulled out took his sword and shield, attacked him. And a terrible fight ensued for a long, long time. And this was actually the purpose of Jai Vijay coming to the earth planet, to the material nature, to give Krishna the chance to fight. In Vaikuntha, nobody fights with him. So this Vira Rasa, the mellow of chivalry, is not experienced by him. So they decided that we wish that we could actually experience the Lord, this mellow of chivalry. And that's why all these arrangements were there. 4 Kumaras came, cursed him, and everything. And not only that, the final consideration was, okay, Jai Vijay, the Lord told them, Jai Vijay, so you have been cursed, so you have to go down to the material nature. But you have 2 options open to you. If you become my devotees, then you have to take birth 7 times. But if you become my enemy, then you'll be born only 3 times. It's up to you. You decide what you want. Okay, 3 times. Even as your enemy. So that is how Jai and Vijay came to this material nature, first as Hiranyakashipu, Hiranyaksha, then Ravan and Kumbhakarna, and then Shishupal and Dantavakra. And in all three appearances, in all three yugas, they fought. So, when now the time is now coming, day is about to be ended. After this terrible fight, when it was just about, the day is about to turn into night in the evening, at that time, the Lord grabbed him. And being grabbed by the Lord, they started to ride. He started to make effort, trying to move and trying to get out of his grip. But the Lord just placed him on his lap. With his nails, he just tore his body open. And then he pulled out his intestine. And he wrapped the intestine around his neck like a garland. The question actually arises, why did the Lord do that? Hiranyakashipu's intestine, he wore it like a garland. The reason is that in the semen of Hiranyakashipu, Prahlada's soul traveled through the intestine. And that's why the Lord considered that his intestine is auspicious and glorious. So this is how the Lord performs his pastimes. And so then Hiranyakashipu is killed. The Lord, he was so angry. He was so angry that he was roaring, and he was like, everyone was trembling with fear, including Brahma, including Lakshmi Devi. No one dared to approach him in such anger that he was displaying. And then Brahma pushed Prahlad, go. Prahlad just went to Narsimhadeva. And when Prahlad came, his anger subsided. And he affectionately pulled up Prahlad and placed him on his right thigh. So this is how the Lord displayed his mercy. In order to protect Prahlad, he appeared and he displayed such a wonderful mood of bhakta vatsalya, affection to his devotee. Now to go back to that point, like why Narsimhadeva is worshipped because of that. And it is by the mercy of Narsimhadeva that one actually not only receives benediction, he receives all kinds of good fortune. And it has been described by Lord Brahma. He is saying that I have become the creator. I can create by the mercy of Narsimhadeva. Lakshmi Devi is maintaining this world by his mercy. All the demigods have achieved all these powers by his mercy, Narsimhadeva's mercy. Therefore, when one takes shelter of Lord Narsimhadeva, he becomes endowed with all kinds of wonderful fortunes, wonderful abilities. So that's why Lord Narsimhadeva is very, very special to us. And Like when we go to Mayapur, we see that in the temple that Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur established, there is a Nishingadev's temple, Lakshmi Nishinga temple, just next to Gaur Panchatattva and Radha Krishna temple. In ISKCON also, sometimes in Germany, we are facing lots of difficulties from the German government and things. So the leader of our movement in Germany at that time established Nishingadev's worship. And since then, no problem. Nobody dared to do anything to them. In Mayapur also, a couple of times we had been attacked by the dacoits. And one attack was very, very severe. One of our devotees, Bhakti Raghav Maharaj, lost his leg in that. And 3 dacoits were killed. Our devotees are shooting from the balcony of the Lotus building. And 3 of the dacoits, their body was found in the paddy field. They tried to run away in spite of being wounded. So at that time also we decided, let's have Nishingadev. And so Nishingadev appeared, no problem. In Ujjain also, we are having lots of problems with the government and with some local greedy lawyers who kind of brought all kinds of cases against us, trying to get some. Anyway, so there was a difficult time. We are facing a lot of difficulties, and there have been many other difficulties also. So a few years back, on this auspicious day of Nishinga Chaturdasi, we decided to install Lord Nishingadev. And since then, no problem. So these are our practical experiences, how Nishingadev actually protects us. And Srila Prabhupada said that if you ever get affected by the demons, if you are in difficult situation, just call out to Lord Nishingadev, and you can rest assured that He will protect you. When we pray to Him with all sincerity, He will give us protection. So these are the simple course of actions that we have. Just take shelter of the Lord. And now Hari Bhakti Vilas actually describes how come Prahlad Maharaj, how did he become such a great devotee from his birth, from before his birth actually. Like, of course, the apparent reason is that when he was in the mother's womb, Narad Muni used to instruct his mother about Krishna consciousness. And when he was in his mother's womb, Prahlad used to listen. And just by listening, Narad Muni when he was in his mother's womb, he received the transcendental knowledge. So this way we can see that how the child becomes conscious even in the mother's womb. Like you remember Abhimanyu? Abhimanyu knew how to enter into Chakrabuha, but he didn't know how to come out of the Chakrabuha. The reason is, one day his mother, Uttara, was, Subhadra. Uttara is. So his mother asked Arjun about, like the Kshatriya women also were interested in warfare, and so she asked about Chakravyuha and how it's organized and how to enter there. So Arjun was explaining. And sitting in his mother's womb, not sitting, lying in his mother's womb, Abhimanyu was listening. And that's how he learned how to enter into Chakravyuha, the military phalanx called the circular phalanx. But when Arjun started to describe how to come out, Subhadra fell asleep. So because she fell asleep, he couldn't. Because his consciousness was tuned up to his mother's. So when the mother became asleep, he also became unconscious and could not receive that knowledge. So this is how there are various instances where one can learn just being situated in the mother's womb. That's why in Krishna consciousness, when one becomes pregnant, our advice is keep your mind absorbed with Krishna consciousness so that the child in your womb can also become a devotee. So, Prahlad Maharaj, of course, heard from Narad Muni and became a devotee. But there Haribhakti Vilas is describing another incident prior to that. One day, Prahlad went with his girlfriend on a picnic. And picnic means outing to have some fun. And they came to a ruin and they cleaned up the place and they wanted to have the picnic. But then they had a fight, argument. There's such a bitter argument that they didn't eat anything that day. They decided not to eat. And they decided not to sleep. They couldn't sleep. They were so disturbed. Now that day happened to be Nrisingha Chaturdasi day. And the ruin that they went to happened to be an old temple of Lord Nrisinghadev. And because they cleaned the temple on that auspicious day, and they fasted and stayed up the whole night, they received this very special benediction. And this person was actually, in his next life, he was Prahlad Maharaj. So, anyway, whatever may be the past happening, but we can see that Prahlad Maharaj was such an amazing devotee. But at the same time, Prahlad Maharaj displayed such humble disposition. To indicate Prahlad Maharaj's position, it has been described in Brihad Bhagavatamritam. So, Narad Muni is trying to find out the greatest devotee. And searching in this way one by one. Actually, wherever he went to and whoever he approached, he was not claiming himself to be great devotee. He pointed to someone else. Like first he approached a Brahmana, who was very nicely worshipping the Shaligram Shila. And when Narad Muni started to glorify him as the greatest devotee of the Lord, he very humbly rejected that idea. He said, no, I'm not such a great devotee. My business is to worship the Lord and that's why I do that. But the Kshatriya king is the best devotee. And he gave the reason why. He's a Kshatriya, he's a warrior, he doesn't need to worship the Lord. But in spite of all that, in spite of being so busy, he is worshipping the Lord. So he is the greatest devotee. And then when he went to him, that king pointed out, no, I'm not the greatest devotee. Indra is the greatest devotee. When he went to Indra, Indra pointed out that Brahma is the greatest devotee. When he went to Brahma, Brahma pointed out Shiva is the greatest devotee. When he went to Shiva, Lord Shiva, Shiva pointed out that the residents of Vaikuntha are the greatest devotee. And then Parvati said, and among all the residents of Vaikuntha, Lakshmi Devi is the greatest devotee. So he was about to, Narad Muni was about to go to Vaikuntha. Then Lord Shiva stopped him. He said, no, Narad, even greater a devotee is Prahlad. So that is the situation of Prahlad Maharaj. His situation is even superior to the residents of Vaikuntha in devotion. But look what happens when he goes to Prahlad Maharaj. Did Prahlad Maharaj say, yes, your conclusion is right? Did he say that? No. Prahlad Maharaj says, what devotion did you find in me? As a child, I displayed some attachment to the Lord. What is the devotion in there? It was a childish attachment. The devotion means rendering devotional service. What service did I render? I simply depended upon the Lord. I did not render any service to the Lord. Look at Hanuman. What kind of service he rendered for the Lord? Inconceivable. Carried a mountain. First of all, jumped across the ocean. Then carried him, went from northern part of Himalayas to Sri Lanka, carrying a mountain. And he brought the news of Sita. He fought single-handedly against the entire army of Ravana and wiped out one whole regiment of Ravana and killed his son single-handedly. So this is how he started to glorify Hanuman. But anyway, our point is that we can see how exalted is Prahlad Maharaj's situation. Such a wonderful devotee. And he developed his devotion from the age of 5, or from even before his birth. And his advice to his demoniac friends is so wonderful. Don't waste your time in mundane activities. Just surrender unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Glorify Him, because that is the purpose of your existence. All the facilities that you have is simply to glorify Him. Especially with your tongue, sing His glory. With your hands, you render service unto Him. And in this way, Prahlad Maharaj had been instructing his demoniac friend at the age of 5. And there are also such amazing characteristics we find. Like Advaitacharya's son, Achyutananda, when he was 5 years old, when somebody told that Keshav Bharati is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's guru. Now Ishwar Puri is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's guru. Keshav Bharati is Sannyas guru. Anyway, when he addressed that he is his guru, this 5-year-old boy said, what? He is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. How can there be any consideration that he has a guru? He is the guru of the whole creation. Just the 5-year-old boy has this understanding. Another boy, his name is Gopal. He knows that he has been going to be taken out. So one day Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came out of his toilet and he was biting onto his tongue. Everybody wondered why you were holding onto your tongue like that. He said, look, I was in a dirty place and my tongue was still chanting the holy name. Therefore I am just trying to stop it from chanting the holy name. So this little boy, 6-year-old Gopal, he says, well, if the time comes for someone to leave his body in a dirty place, should he chant the holy name? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was amazed. I learned something from Gopal today. He taught me the glory of the holy name. The holy name should be chanted anywhere, under any circumstances. There's no consideration for dirty or clean, right or wrong. In any situation, the holy name should be chanted. And because Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu accepted that instruction from this little boy became known as Gopal Guru, the Guru of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So these are such amazing personalities, and that shows that the spiritual wisdom is carried from previous life, from previous birth. It never goes to waste. There is no, in the spiritual assets, there is no diminution or cessation. It doesn't diminish or it doesn't get lost. It remains with the spirit soul. Therefore, render as much service as possible in this life. Whether if even we cannot make it back to God, it doesn't matter. At least it will be some progress towards that direction. So this is how Lord Nrsimhadev is there to bestow his mercy upon his devotees. And therefore, we always sing, Namaste Narasimhaya.
Namaste Narasimhaya.
Namaste Narasimhaya.
Namaste Narasimhaya.
Prahlada Ladadai. Hiranyakashi Purvakshaha.
Hiranyakashi Purvakshaha.
Shilatankarnakhanai. Ito Nrsimha Parato Nrsimha. Jato Jato Jami Tato Nrsimha. Bahir Nrsimha Hridaye Nrsimha. Nrsimhamadin Sharanam Prapati. Avakara Kamalo Vare Nakhamatuta Shinga. Dalita Hiranyakashipu Tanu Bringa. Keshavadrita Narahari Rupa. Jai Jagadisha Hare. Jai Jagadisha Hare. Jai Jagadisha Hare. Keshavadrita Narahari Rupa. Jai Jagadisha Hare. Jai Jagadisha Hare. Keshavadrita Narahari Rupa. Jai Jagadisha Hare. Jai Jagadisha Hare. Jai Jagadisha Hare.
Keshavadrita
Gaur Premanande. Shri Shri Prahlad Nrisingha Deva ki Jai. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai.